Hey everyone, get this. SUI, the cryptocurrency, has been going wild.
Wild, right?
A 25% jump just this past week.
Yeah, pushed it right over $1
Lots of folks are talking, and for good reason too.
for good reason.
We've got this new investment trust kind of shaking things up,
Uh-huh.
and then the SUI network itself, it's growing like crazy.
It is.
Plus, the whole market just feels optimistic.
Yeah, that vibe's definitely there.
So today, let's dig into it all.
Okay.
What's really behind this SUI surge?
You know what I think is funny?
What's that?
People see a price jump and they think it's all hype.
Yeah, that's the first reaction.
But with SUI, there's something more, some real excitement underneath it.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Like, take this grayscale SUI trust.
Right, I've heard of Grayscale. They're big in the crypto world.
Huge.
But what's so special about this trust thing?
It's kind of a game changer, honestly.
How so?
Well, imagine you want to invest in some company, right?
Okay.
But you don't want to deal with actually owning a part of that business.
Too much paperwork, huh?
Exactly. So instead, what do? You buy shares on the stock market.
Right, makes sense.
This trust, it's doing that for SUI,
Oh, I see.
making it way easier for big investors, those institutional guys.
Yeah, they're the ones with the real money.
To get in on SUI without all the hassle of holding the actual cryptocurrency.
So it's like a simpler on-ramp for the big money.
Exactly.
But does that really move the price that much?
Oh, absolutely. When you get those institutions pouring in,
Yeah.
it's a huge vote of confidence.
That makes sense.
And then they bring a ton of capital with them.
Right, supply and demand, basic economics.
Basic economics drives up demand, and guess what? Price goes up. It's not a coincidence that SUI shot up when this trust launched.
So it's a major factor, not the only one, I bet.
Not the only one, but a big one for sure.
Because I've seen these headlines about the SUI network itself.
Yeah, the network itself is seeing amazing growth.
Something about total value locked, TVL, right? What does that even mean?
Ah, TVL. It's
Yeah.
a key metric.
Okay, break it down for me.
It basically tells you how much action is happening on a blockchain.
Action.
Yeah, like how much is being used, all the crypto assets,
Oh, so it's not just sitting there, it's actually being put to work.
Exactly. Locked up, being used in different applications, protocols, all that.
The higher the TVL, the more people are using it.
More people using it, engaging with the network, it's a really good sign.
So with SUI, folks aren't just buying and holding, they're actually using it.
That's what we like to see.
And how's that TVL looking for SUI?
Well, it's over $711 million.
Wow, okay.
And get this, 107.5% growth since August.
That's huge. So
Yeah.
lots of momentum there for sure.
Tons of momentum, no doubt about it.
But is SUI still small compared to like Bitcoin or Ethereum?
True, it's still early days for SUI.
Right.
But that growth, that's seriously impressive.
Shows there's real excitement, real development going on.
Exact.
Kind of reminds me, Bitcoin and Ethereum, they were small once too.
They were tiny, nobody knew them.
So we've got the institutional interest. The network's growing. Anything else we got to know?
Well, there's one more interesting piece of the puzzle.
Hit me with it.
Binance.
Binance, that's the giant crypto exchange, right?
The biggest.
What do they got to do with SUI?
They just launched a SUI perpetual contract.
A what?
A perpetual contract.
Okay, and that is?
Basically, it lets traders bet on SUI's future price without actually owning the crypto itself.
So, like, are they betting it'll go up or down?
Exactly. It's like a futures market, but specifically for SUI.
Okay, now why does that matter?
Because Binance, they're a big deal.
Huge deal.
And when they do something like this, it shows they believe in SUI.
I see. It's a signal to the rest of the market.
It attracts more traders, more investors.
Kind of like a stamp of approval.
Exactly. Adds to the legitimacy, the visibility of SUI.
This is all fascinating, but I gotta admit, I'm not a chart guy.
Not a technical trader.
Not really. Are there any signals from those charts and graphs that can tell us where SUI is headed?
Actually, there are some interesting indicators. They suggest SUI's upward trend might keep going.
Like what?
Well, SUI recently broke through a big resistance level at $1.
Right, I remember reading about that. It seemed like a big deal.
It's a big psychological barrier.
Oh, I see. So breaking through that, what did it do?
It attracts more buyers, folks who were hesitant before.
They see it as a sign of strength.
Exactly, a
Yeah.
sign of strength and potential for more growth.
So breaking that $1 mark, that got people excited.
Got them excited, and it created more buying pressure.
Got it. Anything else?
Oh yeah, there's this pattern emerging. It's called the Golden Cross.
Golden Cross. Sounds promising.
Very promising. But I know technical terms can be confusing.
Yeah, a little bit.
Imagine two groups of traders, right?
Okay, two groups.
One group, they're focused on the short term, like days or weeks.
Gotcha.
The other group, they're looking long term, months or even years.
Right, the big picture, folks.
The golden cross happens when the short-term group's average price crosses above the long-term group's.
So the short-term folks are getting more bullish than the long-term ones.
You got it. And that often means the upward momentum is building, could keep going.
So, technically speaking, things look good for SUI.
It certainly seems that way, but we got to remember, crypto, it's volatile.
Right. Always good to be cautious.
Can't just assume it'll go up forever. There are always risks.
Like what?
Well, there are specific price levels where things could get bumpy.
Oh, really? Like where?
Around 98 cents, 96 cents, then 90 and 88 cents.
And what happens there?
That's where a lot of traders might start selling. If the price dips,
Really?
they might see those levels as a chance to take profits or cut their losses.
So those are like key levels to watch in case things turn around.
Yes, always good to be aware of those potential trouble spots.
So to recap, lots of positive momentum behind SUI right now.
That's right.
We got the institutional interest, the network growing, and these positive technical signals.
Exactly.
But we got to be smart. Remember those risks. Crypto can be unpredictable.
Absolutely. Always good to keep a level head.
This has been really helpful.
Glad to hear it.
For everyone listening, you've just gotten a glimpse into what's moving SUI,
Yeah, hopefully this helps you make better decisions.
especially in this exciting but sometimes confusing world of crypto.
It's a wild world out there.
That it is.
It makes you wonder,
Wonder what?
what would it take for SUI to really break out?
To become like a top-tier cryptocurrency?
Exactly. To go from, rising star to household name.
Like Bitcoin, like Ethereum?
Yeah, those are the big leagues.
So what do we need to see? What are the signs?
Well, first off, continued adoption.
People actually using it.
Yeah, and development within the SUI network.
More projects, more applications being built on it.
That's key. It attracts more users, more developers, creates this whole thriving ecosystem.
Kind of a snowball effect, right?
Exactly. More activity attracts even more activity.
And those institutional investors, we need to see them getting more involved.
Absolutely. The Grayscale Trust, it's a good start.
But it's just the beginning, right?
Yeah, we need the hedge funds, the asset managers.
Even those traditional financial institutions.
If they start pouring in, that's a game changer.
So it's about SUI becoming more, mainstream?
Mainstream, integrated, part of the whole financial landscape.
Makes sense.
And then there's regulation, always a big factor in crypto.
Oh, right, the government, what they decide to do.
If they provide clear, supportive regulations,
Yeah.
that could boost confidence, encourage more investment.
So a lot depends on whether SUI can keep this momentum going.
That's the key. Build on these recent successes.
Because it's still early, right?
Early days for SUI, but the potential is there.
Definitely.
It could be a major force in the crypto world.
Well, this has been super interesting.
Glad you enjoyed it.
As we were talking about all this, something struck me.
What's that?
We've been focusing on the money side, the price, the investment.
Yeah, the financial stuff.
But what about the tech itself? What makes SUI unique?
That's a great point. Sometimes it gets lost in all the hype.
It does.
SUI, it's not just another cryptocurrency.
Right. It's built on something different.
Different, innovative technology.
Like what?
One of the big things is speed and scalability.
I hear those words all the time in crypto.
Yeah, they get thrown around a lot.
But what do they mean? Why should I care?
Okay, think of some of those older blockchains, like Bitcoin.
Okay, I'm thinking Bitcoin.
When things get busy, lots of transactions.
Yeah.
They can get slow, bogged down.
The traffic on the internet?
Exactly. Transactions take a while, fees go up.
Makes sense.
But SUI, it's designed to handle way more transactions quickly and efficiently.
So it could actually handle going mainstream.
That's the goal. Millions of people using it, no problem.
It won't crash and burn.
It's built to grow, handle the demand.
That's huge. If it wants to compete with the big players, it needs that.
Absolutely. It needs to be able to scale.
But speed, scalability, those are kind of abstract,
Yeah.
Any real-world examples of how this tech is being used?
Oh, yeah, for sure. One area where SUI could really shine.
Where's that?
Gaming.
Gaming. Really?
Think about it. Complex online games.
Yeah, I'm picturing it.
Players own assets, trade stuff, all powered by SUI's blockchain.
Oh, so it's not just about money. It's bringing blockchain to different applications.
Exactly. And gaming's just one example.
What else?
Decentralized finance, supply chain management, even digital identity.
So it's about a whole ecosystem, not just the price of the SUI token.
You got it. That's something to think about with any cryptocurrency.
Right, not just hype and speculation.
It's about the underlying tech and what it can actually do.
It's about changing the world.
Potentially changing the world, yeah.
Good reminder. We can get caught up in the hype,
Oh, yeah, we can.
but it's the tech that matters in the end.
It's the foundation.
And with SUI, it sounds like there's a lot of promising tech there.
There is. We got the institutional interest, the network growth, the technical indicators.
And now we see the potential of the tech itself.
Seems like everything's lining up for SUI.
But let's be real, nothing's guaranteed in crypto, right?
That's the truth.
What are some of the challenges SUI might face down the road?
Well, one big one is competition.
Oh, right. There's a ton of cryptocurrencies out there.
Tons of them. And blockchain platforms, too.
It's crowded.
It's a crowded space, so SUI needs to stand out.
How does it do that?
Needs to offer something unique, something compelling.
More than just being a little faster, a little cheaper.
It can't just be a slightly better version of what's already out there.
Needs to be a game changer.
Exactly. It needs that wow factor, that this is revolutionary feeling.
Easier said than done, right?
It's the challenge for any innovator to be truly different.
To not just be better, but to be different.
And it's not just about the tech itself.
What else?
The community, you got to build a strong community around the project.
Oh, interesting. What role does that play?
A big one. An engaged community. They use the tech, spread the word.
The drive adoption.
Exactly. It's not just building cool tech. It's about building a movement.
So for SUI to really make it, it needs believers.
Needs people who are passionate, actively involved.
It's more than just the code, it's the people behind it.
That's what we're seeing more and more in crypto.
It's a collaborative effort.
It's about building a whole new future. Together.
This has been incredibly insightful. I had no idea it was this deep.
It's a rabbit hole once you start digging.
It is. And it's not just about those price charts.
We can get fixated on the numbers, forget about the bigger picture.
Yeah. But it's the ideas, the technology, that's what matters.
And with SUI, there's a lot to be excited about.
Pushing the boundaries, that's what it's all about.
That's the spirit.
This has been a great dive into the world of SUI.
Definitely.
I think we've gotten a good understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, from the financial side to the tech itself.
But as we wrap up, gotta remember, this isn't financial advice.
No, definitely not.
We're just exploring, trying to make sense of this crazy world of crypto.
It's a wild ride, that's for sure.
And speaking of making sense, let's leave you with something to think about.
Okay, what's up?
We've talked about the potential of SUI, the tech, the community.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground.
But here's the big question.
The big question.
What would it take for SUI to become a household name?
Like Bitcoin, like Ethereum.
What problem does it need to solve?
To become truly indispensable.
What makes people choose SUI over everything else out there?
Those are the questions that matter.
The questions that will shape the future of SUI and maybe even the whole crypto landscape.
It's an exciting time to be watching all this unfold.
So stay curious, keep learning. Who knows, maybe you'll be part of the next big breakthrough.
Until next time.
This has been a really fascinating deep dive into SUI.
It has.
I think we've got a good understanding of what's going on,
Yeah, from the financial side to the tech itself.
But as we wrap up,
But
gotta remember, this isn't financial advice.
no, definitely not.
We're just exploring.
Yeah, exploring.
and trying to make sense of this crazy world of crypto.
It's a wild ride, that's for sure.
And speaking of making sense,
Yeah.
let's leave everyone with something to think about.
Okay, what's that?
We've talked about the potential of SUI, the tech, the community.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground.
But here's the big question.
The big question.
What would it take for SUI to become a household name?
Like Bitcoin, like Ethereum.
What problem does it need to solve?
To become truly indispensable.
What makes people choose SUI over everything else out there?
Those are the questions that matter.
The questions that will shape the future of SUI and maybe even the whole crypto landscape.
It's an exciting time to be watching all this unfold.
So stay curious, keep learning, who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe you'll be part of the next big breakthrough.
Until next time.
Happy exploring.